Amazing. Another Why Wednesday with the phenomenal
Oh,
Mia of
yeah.
Flores Financial. Mia,
Thank you,
thank you for
amazing.
being available as always.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
We were talking beforehand about the whys around policies and procedures. And before that, we were discussing this idea of having employee buy-in,
Yeah.
creating, I like the phrase that you use, empowering
Hmm.
and engaging
Hmm.
your team members and employees. And now we're talking about something that can be a little bit challenging, and that is workplace
Certainly.
violence
Yes.
prevention.
That's
Something where I'm speaking here 2024 and recently in California, there has been some changes around
yeah.
workplace violence prevention. I would appreciate you sharing or elaborating on that a little bit more.
Yeah, so SB 553, and that's something that a lot of California employers are basically, oh my goodness, what is this new law? I mean, come on. I mean, it's California. I mean, I guess we're not surprised that there's just always the laws keep changing and there's always something. But why, right? That's what's lacking into why we have these laws in place and how and why do we have it? Why do we have to adhere to it? Why do a lot of employees need to know about it? Why do business employers need to put this in place? So it's the Workplace Violence Prevention Program. It's something that we basically have been talking about. A lot of states have already put this into place, but we're more actively having to participate into the SB 553. So this legislation is basically designed to address and prevent workplace violence by requiring employers to implement comprehensive prevention plans, right? And when I mean by comprehensive, making it a little bit more detailed, kind of like drilling into how your industry is, how you're practicing, how you're operating. Everything goes hand in hand. It has to be customizable, but this aren't just for show, basically. They are meant to actively protect your employees from harm. And I'm sure a lot of our employees and businesses, they care about their employees. At the end of the day, it's all about teamwork and wanting to make sure that you provide a safe work environment for your employees. And this workplace violence prevention program is all about that. It's to ensure that your employees are safe and protected. So whether you're managing a busy restaurant, in San Francisco and San Diego, in Virginia, for example, or running a construction industry site in LA, right? This law basically applies to you, right? So basically, what does that mean? Right. So you have a lot of risk assessment and training that encompasses the SB 553. And what this means is that it mandates the employers to conduct a thorough risk assessment to identify the potential threats for their industry and for their operations. Once those risks are basically identified, you must basically train your employees on how to recognize all of those threats and how to respond to them properly, making them aware about it, right? You want to make them aware at the end of the day. You want them to be prepared, be more proactive rather than reactive. Sometimes we do not know. It's best. I know it's a lot of work, but prevention is better than cure. For example, I'm going to give you an example, kind of like in a retail environment. This might mean training your staff on how to de-escalate situations with difficult customers. How are you going to navigate through that? What are they supposed to say? Some may not be confrontational. Like, some employees may not like that kind of like environment. But how, knowing that you have you're part of that, the employers, the businesses are part of that buy-in. They know that they have someone with them to kind of like maneuver through all of these, right? In a construction industry, for example, it could involve conflict resolution training for team members who are under a lot of stress because it can be stressful, working in a construction industry as well. So you want to be able to customize all of that. You want to be able to assess those risks. You want to be able to know exactly how to drill into those operations, what your employees' responsibilities are and have them more prepared in the long run. And so that you may not be on a reactive mode, right? So
I
that's basically what SB
I
five.
love that. That's so
Yeah,
helpful. So there were two realms that I think was super helpful, and I'd love for a little bit more elaboration on that one. The first one was really around industry. So it's not a cookie cutter
yeah, yeah.
policy. Rather, what you're saying is it is customizable and is comprehensive. So that's helpful to understand because a restaurant's risks are different from a manufacturer's risks, are different
Correct.
from a construction-based risk. And then the other idea that I thought was interesting was this idea of recognizing and responding. But one of the things I really like that quote that you said that prevention is better than the cure.
Yeah.
Could you elaborate on that just a little bit more around the why of workplace violence prevention?
Yeah, so prevention is better than cure, like I stated earlier. You want to be able to have all the measures and safety measures and plan and policies in place, right? Before you're having to put out a fire, before it becomes, if you're just band-aiding it until it's not actually curing it. You want to prevent it from happening. You want to be able to have a proactive approach. By preventing violence, it all starts with creating a culture of safety and of respect. And by creating that and having all those buy-ins, there's the prevention part on that. So it's based rather than curing it. Curing it, it kind of like everything falters. It's like, oh, I'll have to cure that now. On top of that, then you have this problem, then you have this problem, and then it gets exhausting. When in fact, when you do all of that hard work and maybe a lot of work from the very beginning, you prevent all of that from happening where you don't have to cure. You don't have to worry because you have all the proper culture in place, you have the proper buy-in, you probably have the proper safety measures. It all starts with that. At the end of the day, right? We want everyone to feel valued, and we want everyone to feel respected, and at the same time, we want everyone to feel safe. So,
Creating a culture of respect and safety where everyone is valued and safe. Now, I think that is a great way to put a bow on the why
yeah, of
for workplace violence prevention. Thank you again so much, Mia.
course.
I significantly appreciate your input, and I am excited to connect with you in the next one. Have a great one.
Of course, you too.